We continue now at the top of Daf Ayin Tes Amud Aleph in Meseches Yoma. This is Yoma Daf 79a. Rav Papa here asks the following question. When it says in our Mishnah, it says the size that you have to eat to be chayav on Yom Kippur is kechoseves hagasa, kechoseves sha'amru. This date that we're talking about, begari nasa, is it including the pit? Or below gari nasa, or is it not including the pit? Rashi over here explains, begari nasa or shalo begari nasa. V'hadikotani masnisan uchegari nasa. Now the Mishnah says with the pit. So miboile, he's asking as follows. Heichi kamar, what exactly does the Mishnah mean? Kamo uchegari nasa yachad, does it mean that we take the date and the pit together? Odil mahachi kamar, maybe it means as follows. Kamoa ochegari nasa, maybe it means the size of the date or the size of the pit. And the Gemara continues, boy, Rav Ashi asks the following question, Etzem kisaora, when it says that a bone, if it's as large as a barley, then it imparts tumah, so then beklipasa or below klipasa, is that including the husk, or is that not including the husk? Belacha or biavesha, does it mean that it's moist, or does it mean that it's dry? And the Gemara now explains. Rav Ashi lo miboile hadar Rav Papa. First of all, Rav Ashi, he wasn't bothered by Rav Papa's question in terms of the large date, whether it includes the pit or not, because gasa itmar, it says that it's large. Kol kama de gasa, that means as large as you can make it, meaning you should include the pit. Rav Papa lo miboile hadar Rav Ashi. And Rav Papa did not have Rav Ashi's question regarding the din of tumah by an etzem, because number one, lacha shibolas mikri. Lacha, if it was moist, it would be called shibolas. That's not called saora. And shalo beklipasa, without the husk, ushla mikri, that's called ushla. That's also, it's not called saora. So therefore he understood, or if Papa understood, that it's obvious that it's going to be dry, and also it's obvious that it's together with the husk. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rabba, Amar Rav Yehuda. Rabba says in the name of Rav Yehuda, Koseves hagasa sha'amru, when we talk about the size of a large date on Yom Kippur, Yiseira mikabetza, that's larger than a kabetza, that's larger than an egg. V'kimlu l'Rabbanan, and the Rabbanan understood, Devahachi meis v'daite, that's the amount of food that settles a person. Batzer mehachi lo meis v'daite. Less than that, it does not settle a person. And Rashi over here explains, V'afagav dechol shir achilas isur b'kezayis. Now, even though every other time we find a prohibition to eat something, the shir is always a kezayis. Sahani mili hecha dechsiva achila. That's only true where it says the word achila. But here the language of the pasuk is not eat. The language of the pasuk is you should afflict yourself. If it's an amount of food that doesn't cause a settling of the mind, then that's still considered affliction. If you have so little food, that's still considered inoi. And so the Gemara continues, Meisve, we have the following question. This is a Mishnah in Sukkah. The Mishnah says, Ma'isa ve'evi'u Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai lito mesatavshil u'Rav Gamliel shtei kosavos u'dlish al mayim. There was a story where they brought to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai to taste some cooked food. They brought Rav Gamliel 2 dates and they brought him some water. V'yamru, and they said, Helim l'sukkah. They said you have to bring it up to the Sukkah. There's a requirement to eat these foods in the Sukkah. V'tani Allah, and we learned on that, this isn't really the strict halacha, just they wanted to be strict, so they said to eat it in the sukkah. And now the Mishnah continues, when they gave Rabbi Tzadok ochel pachos mikabetza, they gave him food that was less than an egg, that the size of an egg. Not lubamapa, so he took it with a napkin. Va'achlu chutz l'sukkah, he ate it outside of the sukkah. V'lo berach acharav, and he didn't make any bracha acharona. Rashi over here explains, not lubamapa v'achlu shlosha kulin noagbo. The point of the Mishnah over here is that Rabbi Tzadok had 3 leniencies. Achas shalom natal yadav, number 1, he didn't wash his hands for it. Ela b'mapa, he just used a napkin. Karach yadav mishamanino sadas, he just wrapped his hands in the napkin because he didn't want to get dirty. V'chutz l'sukkah achlo, also another leniency, he ate it outside of the sukkah. V'lo birach acharav, and also he didn't make a bracha achrona. And we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Ayin Tes Amud Beis.